Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm sitting out in my backyard this morning. It's mid-morning, and I thought I'd pop on because it's been a couple more weeks since I've checked in with you. Sorry it's not in my kitchen cooking with Carol Diane, baking some wonderful thing, although I am waiting for a recipe from a dear friend of mine. And I bugged her about it a couple of times, maybe third time's a charm, that I'll get that recipe and then I'll go into my kitchen and make that for you. But today, it's such a gorgeous day out. We are to have a little weather tomorrow, and I wanted to get a couple more things done outside before that happens over this particular weekend. I'm gonna pour myself a cup of tea this morning. Have out here on my back patio. In the background, you can hear, hopefully, water running, and that's all my fountains. They're up and going. Today, I bought a new one. Last weekend, sometimes I just get rid of my fountains over the years. Tired of buying the $30 pumps for them, and I see something I kind of like, and I go get one. So I did. I got a wishing well one. It's sitting right over here by me with my ducks. So what have I done or not done since the last time I talked with you? Well, the walk around my yard for the 1st of May. First I did April, then I waited a whole month, and then I did May. Well, now my beautiful roses are all popping through, and I wanted to show those to you. And just a couple of things that I've been working on. My to-do list, which I had 2 of them. I had one of them right here up on the refrigerator, and I've marked off quite a few things. Then I had kind of an everyday one of certain things that weren't on this list, and I've marked off certain things. So what have I done so far? Yes, I got all of my outside shutters painted, and the reason why I make my to-do list April and May is I try to get all this outside stuff done before June of the hot weather where I live, of those 3-digit temperatures kick in, and I just can't do stuff out in the hot weather like that. I just can't. So yes, I marked off, I painted my shutters. Today I'm painting the garage doors. Same color, just sprucing them up because the heat where I live, it fades the paint, it really does. Even though it's a good quality paint, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing that. And kind of going around the white shed, I'm gonna be painting all the rust-colored red areas over there today, hopefully. Scrape and paint the white fascia boards and lower garage board areas. That's not going to get done yet. Paint the clothesline the rust color. I did get that done. Husband is going to, he bought some new hardware that he's going to pull tighter on those cords so that my heavy blankets and stuff, you know, they don't sag like that. Ever had that with a clothesline? It's frustrating, let me tell you. Okay, so he's going to be doing that. Repaint my white fence and the back area picket fence. Haven't done that yet. Replace the side doggy area picket fence. Haven't done that yet. Clean up my back area and go to the dump. Yeah, I can mark that off. I did do that. I bought what I call a garden shed. And it's everything going in there that's been laying out in the weather elements that shouldn't have been. Rakes, shovels, and things like that. My riding lawnmower that's been in the garage, and husband has a fit with it in there because I can get it up to the garage, I can ride it up to the garage and pull it by the side door, but I can't turn and maneuver it in that garage because he has an item in there that takes up the whole garage. I can't get it in there. So the main objective to getting this garden shed was to have the riding lawnmower and all the garden supplies in that shed out back by the other peach trees. And that's what I'm hoping for. I was hoping that sun was coming down, well, later today. Now that plan's changed because tomorrow we're to have 60% chance of rain, and it's not gonna be fun to put up a shed in rain. So we kind of sketch that off the list that we're not going to do that this weekend. So again, clean up behind the red shed area and set up the garden shed. Well, I haven't set up the shed yet, but I have cleaned up the area. Repainted my wheelbarrow. Yeah, I got that done. And planted some nice little flowers in there. Painted my 2 lions out front. Yes. And I'll show you the emerald green eyes that I put on my lions. I like them. Put flowers in my 2 urns out front and back here by my hot tubs, yes. And I also filled the other 3, 3 or 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. The other 4 urns I filled with flowers and planted back here, along with painting my whole picket fence back here. I took down, that was hard to do that day. When the doggies and my dachshunds were small, they could get right through a picket fence. So I had to put up chicken wire on the outside of the picket fence. And then painting inside that chicken wire and doing, it was a hassle. So I just pulled it all off, pulled all the staples off, and I repainted the whole picket fence. And you know, I left that chicken wire off. Well, Coco, I think he's big enough now that I don't think he could squeeze through the picket fence. And now that I have a new gate up to the front that he can't get through that, I'm pretty secure around here that I know that when I let him out, he's not going to wander the property and get me into trouble. Because he will. Replace my mailbox or repaint the doggy one. I think I'll just repaint the doggy one. I've had it for years. Put the red mulch everywhere. Well, I started that project, yes. That's when the mulch bags were $2 a bag at Home Depot. Then it went off sale, wouldn't you know? And so I couldn't get it for a little while. So I've kind of stopped to the end of my little bridge over there, of which I got painted, and I'll show you that. The kind of the before and after that I finally got the little bridge painted. And so now I'm waiting for another sale to go on sale for those bags of mulch. My list here. Spray the weeds. Yes, I began to spray them. And my pump sprayer that I put the weed killer in to spray a large area, it just decided to stop working. You know, you have these things that happen. Yeah, well, okay, so I had to buy a whole new sprayer. I did get a lot of that done, but I need to get more. Put down landscape paper and the mulch for the raspberry area. Well, I've been really thinking about this raspberry area, and when I go over there today to show you, I think you'll agree. My raspberries where I used to live, oh, gorgeous. A great big huge long line of them, and they multiply, and they were coming up in the gravel driveway too. Little starters. These aren't doing that, and I really think it's because maybe the landscape paper along with the mulch is kind of limiting them of growing. But I did that for one reason only, and that was to keep the grass and the weeds down. So if I get to it today, I don't know how tired I'll be by the time I do all this painting. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to take out all of that old landscaping paper and the mulch, just get rid of all of it and lay down all new. I bought all new bags because they're still $2 a bag of the Miracle-Gro garden soil, I think it's called. I think I called it topsoil before, but it's really garden soil. I use that in my greenhouse too. Greenhouse is doing great. I'll peek in there and show you that I did get my tomato cages around the tomatoes in there. And anyway, so that's a project around there. The grapes the leaves have grown a lot since I've shown you last, and I want to show you that. Let's see. So it checked off that I put the tomato cages on the greenhouse. We had to put red reflector tape on that new front gate. I got that done. Put new bird seed in both of my big bird feeders out there, and the birds are loving it over there, so that worked out. And my chicken coop, there's some starter trees, which again down here they're called junk trees. Not really sure why, they're just trees, wild trees that grow. but they can get big and out of control. You know, they really can't. So I wanna, and the chicken coop's not that heavy. So I gotta lift that, pull it up from its stakes and lift that and chop all that down and then put that back down nice. And I may put some mulch in there. I don't know yet. I only have 2 bags of mulch left, so I have to be diligent of where am I going to put that, you know, because I only have 2, because they're now, they were $2 a bag. They're now $4.97 a bag, and I just refuse to pay that for a bag of mulch. I just do. So today is get busy while I can out in my yard. There's a little bit of breeze, but nothing like what we've had for the last 4 days that I haven't really had to, I couldn't get a lot of things done just because of the wind. Now I can. Now I can come out here and enjoy my back area that I've looked forward to doing. There's still a lot of work to be done out here. We really did want to put concrete all in this area and over there, but we were doing so many things when we first moved in this house that just kind of took a back seat. It really did. But I would like to get that done where I can come out and not be on what's down here as far as it's an outdoor rug mat and then the mulch is around it. And I see that my morning glories are starting to peek through a little bit, and I don't want them growing up the poles of this pergola this year. They look pretty, don't get me wrong, they do, but they just take over. And then by fall, oh my gosh, it's a lot of pulling and clipping on all of those morning glories because they come back every year. So, I don't know, we're still kind of thinking about that, of putting the concrete in here. It's kind of a big job. You got to move all this stuff just to have them come and pour that concrete. I bought a couple more wind chimes this year. I haven't gone overboard, just a couple of fountains that I like. So there's 1, 2, 3 new fountains and a couple of new wind chimes. That's all to start my spring summer. I hope you found something that you can put out in your yard that makes you laugh, smile when you walk by it. Something, because it's nice to have when you're like me and you like to come out and do something in your yard. So now I'll get up and I'll get busy of showing you what I've done in the last couple of weeks. It's kind of intermittent, and what I still need to do, and how pretty my flowers are now. Right up here is the birdhouse. And I see Mama Bird's up on the roof. She's waiting. She's waiting for me to leave so she can feed her babies. I really do like my birds. I really do. I cater to them. I do. So let's get busy. Let me show you what I've done. All right, here I am at the back of the house. Here's my clematis that is growing up the vine. Here are these beautiful, just a beautiful peach color rose. See if I can get in close enough. See how pretty those are? Oh my gosh, I just love them back here. And my tiny little roses. Over here on the end is a hollyhock plant. Covers up my irrigation, the water valves. And that's okay. So here I showed you in my last video, I'm having kind of a struggle with this area right in here. The dogs just play havoc with it. It just doesn't grow the grass in here like what I'd like. See if I can come over on this side a little better. So I put in, better on this side. I put in some fresh dirt, of which I need to rake a lot better, and I put some grass seed down, and I'm just gonna keep watering this area and hope that it comes back. Really hope that it comes back. And I come over here. Here's my little bird bath. These, look at how pretty these are. Yeah. This is a wonderful rose bush. Just got it at the grocery store. Yeah, planted my other one there. It was beautiful the other day. I should have taken a picture of that. This is the new fountain that I got. Like my little ducks. It's loud. This was the second new fountain that I bought. And then these were the pretty, here, it turns on at night with the solar of the little ball up there. These were the pretty wind chimes. And I have one over here. I really kind of like this one, this glass one here. He's pretty. I'll be working on my other fountain here. I have to spray inside of it some Flex because I think there's a little leak that I don't like. So I'll be spraying that and getting that taken care of, and then I'll be filling that with water. Getting that done. Back here, I cleaned up all this area from when I talked to you last. I went down and got these. Husband and I really like this at night, that we sit out here, any place that we sit out. Here's the picket fence that I took down the chicken wire, and I painted the whole thing. I'll come along here and show you. Then I filled these pots. There's 4 of them, one around the corner. This little guy right here. Then I did get this guy, and let me tell you why I like this fellow fountain. See these little cages that came with it? Let's see if I can lift one up by the birdie here. See these right here? And I can take them out, get them kind of, I can't do it with one hand there. And that catches all the leaves or whatever. And that's kind of nice. Yeah. Okay, so the iris have stopped blooming on this side. I had to cut that part down of just the flower, and they took quite a hit when the house was painted. Look at my pretty roses now. Let's stand back here. Got the hummingbird feeder up there. Look at them now. And these pink ones, they get really tall. They really do. They get so tall. And again, I went and clipped the flower part on the iris here. Then I come along here. This is where I told you one year that when I had this whole row of hollyhocks that go clear up to the window up there. This year, a couple of them didn't make it, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But hollyhocks get heavy with their great big flowers. So I take a pole right here and one on the end, and you can see the line that I put fishing line, heavy fishing line. I'm a hummingbird. Heavy fishing line keeps these hollyhocks from drooping over. My Virginia creeper that's growing up, and I kind of like it, so I'm just going to leave it. Another fountain. The grass has come in a lot better now since the last time I showed you. A lot greener. I don't know if I'm going to keep Colorado Columbine there. I may replace that with something a lot more colorful. Some more Virginia creeper I see growing there. And here we come along to see how pretty and big the rose bush has got since I showed you last. Just trimming them. It's amazing. All right, then I come over to my lions that I did paint white. I painted them white, and then I came back with some heavy outside white spray paint and sprayed them. And then I put, let's see if I can get down here. See the rose? Emerald green. Yeah, emerald green. And I just love my rose bushes because they get so big. Remember I told you I went ahead and I painted the trellis up here and got that going. All right, I come along here, and from the last time we talked, I went ahead and planted all the succulents in here of my bird bath with a duck. And I like it, I really do. These are lilies that'll be coming up. See, they're already getting all of their blossoms on them, and they're real pretty. This was another just at the grocery store. I found this rose. Look at this, it's almost marble looking. It's really quite pretty. And then again, I just kind of stuck Colorado Columbine there, Colorado Columbine over here, and these cute little red flowers. Now see, when I showed you last, these were just a green blob kind of right here. Well, look at what they do. Yeah, I may get some more of those and continue them on down the row. I don't know yet, but I kind of like that. All right, and so we come around the corner here of, like I said, these rose bushes are just, they're taking off, and they're going to have a lot of roses and a lot of big ones. Now, perfect example of the bearded iris. So when they get to looking like this, right, like that, I clip off all that brown. I don't like to look at it. Really. Here's a whole bunch that I have to come and clip and get rid of. The blue flower, yes, I will leave, but not those little end pieces. They get shabby looking. My tree again, with all of its little white flowers. And here we go with my rose bushes getting taller, getting taller. These yellow bearded iris are done. Yep, so I gotta clip those. And I come along, and here's the yellow one. Made a lot of color right here. Here's a junk tree right back here that I have to come and clip, a couple of them. Right there, that should not be there. That one, or this little guy. And this is what you need to do when you come out in your yard, is just kind of keep an eye on things, come out and look and say, well, what's here that needs to be, you know, and what doesn't. Okay, so I'll come right along here. Now the snowball bush is done with the blossoms. This is how it ended. I showed you the pretty blossoms. Now that's how it ended. And I won't have any more of those, but they were sure pretty at the time. My nice peony bushes. So yesterday I was out here putting the little cages around them to hold them up. I see my trees blooming. Here are the nice orchid flowers. Look at here. Aren't those gorgeous? On just this tree. Can't remember what it's called. I put it in my plant app. I do have the name of it on my plant app. I didn't think it would be blooming, but it is. The big one's not, but that one did. Gets a lot of water. And again, I came along here and I put the cages on my peonies. They're a heavy flower. See, I had to hold it up with that one blossom back there. I had to hold up onto the aspen tree because they just kind of flop over, and I don't like that. I don't recall if I showed you when it was all done. So I painted the boards, I put the little lights up, security lights, and this gate is now officially done for us. And I really like it. Okay, I'm back over here on the other side of the driveway, where again, my rose bushes. These are yellow ones here that really do give it a lot of color. My purple iris back in there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that small little tree there and get rid of it. Get it out of here. It's too much. Come along with my little bench. More rose bushes. Always try to put something decorative in. And this starts my row of the tiger lilies. Another little rose bush in here. I love rose bushes. I've always wanted a garden full of rose bushes. And where I live, they do very, very well. For quite a while. That's why I put them in here. Okay, so these were not blooming on my last video. Now they are. Now they are. There they are. Whole bunch. Whole bunch, whole bunch. And then this comes down now to my problem area of again. I'm going to take out that landscaping paper. And the one I put down, all they had at the store at that time was that plastic. Now I have a nice fabric one. But I'm not going to do that, I don't think. I think I'm just going to take it all out. It'll take me a little while, yes. This is a long row. It'll take me a little while to get all of that out and put down all fresh new dirt and let these raspberries, because here they are right here, let these raspberries grow. But see how they're doing in between? There's all this grass. And yes, it just comes right up out of the dirt. But it's a pain, it really is. So I'm gonna let that grow with some fresh dirt. Here's my 2 bags of mulch. These are big ones, big bags. That's what I get. for $2. I'm not paying $4.97 for a bag of mulch. I'm just not gonna do it. My little froggy. And then this, I'm gonna stand back to show you from April into the 1st of May, and now we're in the latter part of May, how much my grapes have grown up here of the leaves. Isn't that something? Yeah. Yeah. And now I come along here. Now this is where I need more mulch. I could only stop at the peacock there. I've got to put this all with mulch. But I did get my bridge painted. I'll show you the process, but let me show you it all done. There it is, all done. My project this morning is to paint this bridge. So I've taped off and I'm ready to paint just the chains. I'll be doing them black. Well, that didn't take but a minute to do. It helps to tape things off. Now I'll be taking the blue tape off and I will be doing the poles, probably staining them in brown. Okay, so the nice thing about whatever you're painting, whatever project you're doing, is that you can change your mind. So instead of just the dark brown, I'm going to go with my rust red that I have everywhere on my property. The plank board, the regular bridge on the bottom will be white. I use my handy dandy cart. I've had this thing for years. I really recommend you going and buying one. I've used this thing for everything. I'm going to keep painting. So I'm starting in with the deck now of painting it white. I'm putting a very thick coat on. Each thing that I've had to do has taken 2 to 3 coats. So I sprayed the rails first, and I did that twice. And then the red paint I had to do twice. And I'll see how I'm doing on the white. Okay, that takes care of just 2 coats of paint on the bottom. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to thin down my paint just a little bit with some water. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit it again and get in between all of the little boards, which I think I'm going to like this. Yeah, I think that's going to turn out just fine. I think it made all the difference in the world to paint it this year. I've just been kind of letting that go for a few years. The blackberries and the raspberries at the back are doing fine. I don't have any problem with them. And then in the greenhouse, again, everything's doing great in here. It's just growing right along. Big, big, big. Big, big, big. Nope, didn't get out here to cut off the tops of the chives. I will. And my raspberries, put down the 7. I put down, at first when they were barely coming up, I put down the powder 7. It's to keep all the bugs and things that get to them and chew them all up. It keeps all that away. Then when they started getting the leaves like this, right before the flowers started to bloom, is when I did the spray of the 7. Put the tomato cages on my tomatoes all along here, all along here, all along here. Still haven't got to painting the stepping stones, and don't think I'm going to. Okay, the fake chicken coop, as I call it, with my metal chickens. I did get my water pump painted. I did do that. And then as you see, when you come around the back side of my chicken coop here, here's this junk tree again that grew inside the chicken coop that I will, again, lift up the chicken coop, set it over to the side, and then I will clip all of that and get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Yeah, so all this is the fence at the back over there, which I'll show here in a minute. I painted that the other day. The apple tree, another apple tree. This back here, this is our Bella Georgia of our tree that we bought not that long ago. Look at here, of my little peach tree, and look at what's on it. The little peaches. Yeah. that's how they look, folks. I saw some up here on my bigger one. This is the tree that gave me 200 peaches, if I can get around here. Oh, there they are right there. Right. Look at those. Yeah, I'm gonna have peaches this year, and I'm so excited of this tree that we had to put in a V design to grow the peaches. There's some over here too. There we go, look at those. Yeah, that I'm gonna like. So again, today's project, hopefully, is to refresh the red part, the rust red on the garage. I'll get that done. And then this is my back area that I think everybody has an area that they're not real pleased about. This is mine. So I painted the fence because it was in bad shape. This is where we keep our trash containers and things that I don't know, I just need to get rid of. Over here on this wall, I had everything you can think of for gardening. It's on the other shed right now, and I will show you that. Okay, this isn't real fashionable. We stopped with our white privacy fence, and we had these extra panels that were just given to us. My mistake of having husband put it up with the good side facing the other direction. I should have faced it our direction, which means I have to come out here and power wash these panels and then repaint them until we finally get all of the white fence all the way down. Here are my peach trees right here. And then everything on this side of the shed over here, that's what's going in my new garden shed. So there's two choices. I can put it right up against the back of this red shed here and put it all in there. That's the second choice. The first choice was to actually put it alongside, because it's a 10 by 8 shed. Put it on this wall by the garage that comes over, and you're only going to have a space about like those totes that I could put up a little gate or whatever. And keep the dogs back in here, put some grass maybe, I don't know. Anyway, one of the two areas is going to completely cover all this and get rid of it. Get rid of all that I've had out in the open. My shed that I keep saying, it's out in the shed. This is what I mean, it's out in this shed. Everything. And my little tree that I planted, that I water, oh, it's grown so nice. So nice. And so that's kind of the back of the property as far as everything that I work and do. You know, it's a large property. I'm still going to be killing this grass that's right here. And over here, I could plant a lot of things right in here. I just haven't. It doesn't get a lot of water over here, and that's why I haven't. So this red shed is another one that I'll be coming out here. These are the back doors to it. I'll be painting those doors red, the trim red, getting it just like the house. Here's the Maximilians that are, see how they do? They're filling in really nice from those just sticks that I showed you in April. Now I've had a couple of things on my rooster here of a name. I said, please help me name my big rooster. One of them was Roy Rooster, and another one was Winston. I kind of like Winston. I really do. I kind of like Winston. So that's what I've done in the last couple of weeks. I'm still plugging along in between all kinds of errands, medical appointments, everything. This is the big property that I work on diligently. Everything. Well, I hope you've enjoyed another walk around my yard with me. Yeah, so see, there's always something to do, especially if you have a yard as large as mine. Where I used to live higher up in the mountains, I didn't have this big of a yard. It was still yard work to do. There was always mowing, weed trimming, and things to take care of, but nothing quite like this yard. And everything that I have shown you, believe it or not, was just dirt when we first moved into this house. It wasn't a brand new house being built where, you know, you have to start new with landscaping. No, this house was built in 1977. But they just didn't do in the yard. They just let it go. And there was a lot of areas. I'm very, very proud of myself because I've done all the hard work. I'm proud of myself that I had the energy back then, that I redid that whole area over there where the grapes are in the pergola, put in my nice rose garden over there, put up the greenhouse, everything, and made it likable, I guess, for lack of a better word. I like my yard now. It's easy for me to mow with my little pavers, and I turned off my water fountain over here. It was rather loud. Nobody told me. But I still do like it, the little witching well with all the little ducks, but it is loud. The only thing I can say, getting that at Murdoch's, there was only two. One was in a box and one was completely assembled. And I asked the lady, I said, can I buy the one already assembled? Because, you know, lots of stores, they won't let you buy the display model. Yeah, I could have that for $25 setup fee. I said, yeah, I'll take the one in the box. I'll set it up myself. And I did. But anyway, with that one, the little tub pan that's in there, you have to fill that thing quite often. It evaporates the water quite a bit, it really does. But I still like him. So I'm going to hang on to that. Anyway, put things in your yard that you enjoy, you know. If it's time for a new patio set, you know, see if you can find one on sale that you really like. I've had this particular one now since right after we moved in. I gave away the one I had to one of my kids. It was a wrought iron one, but it had nice cushions on it. I really liked it. But it was glass and everything, so I gave that away. And I bought this little set, and I'm pretty sure I bought it at Walmart. Really, I did. It was on sale, and I thought, that's all I need. 4 little chairs. This is all I need, because the other one had like 6 chairs. It was way too big. Our fire pit, I don't use as often as what I thought I would. But I have one. I can honestly say, yeah, I got a fire pit out here. Other things I have collected over the years that I've just hung on to. The new glider chairs that I just showed with the little owl, that husband did buy me that for Mother's Day. And we like it. You know, they're comfortable and we like it. We don't even have to put cushions on it. They're just that comfortable. And you just sit there and kind of glide, and it's really nice. Yeah. So find the things that please you in your yard. I had a dear friend that sent me a picture. She lives in a house that, it's just her. She lives in a house where she lives in the basement of the apartment. So all she has when she comes out the door, I guess, from downstairs is a very small little patio area. Not big at all. And she doesn't have a place to have, you know, a lot of flowers or whatever. So she went to a place that we have down here that does the metal yard art. And they're beautiful flowers that look like this. They just kind of come up like this. And colorful and nice. She doesn't have to water them or care for them either. I said, oh, that reminds me of my metal chickens. I don't have to water them. I don't have to feed them, care for them, nothing. But I like my chicken coop. I like my chickens out there. I really did entertain. It's still on down the line for me, but I really did entertain one year to have a coop with real chickens so that I could have the eggs. But I'll tell you what, after talking to so many people that do have chickens, and the work that's involved with the chickens, the mess, the cleanup, the expense of the feed, just so many things. That kind of turned me away from it at my age. You know, if I was 20 years younger than what I am right now, I'd say, sure, let's go for it. I really kind of chuckled at my younger son who came over to borrow my rototiller. They were putting in a garden, and then he was tilling up this one back area of his backyard to put in a swimming pool, 14 feet long. And he doesn't really want the swimming pool because he knows how much work is involved in taking care of an outside pool. But it was either that or a chicken coop and chickens. So he opted to give his girlfriend the pool instead of the chickens. We'll see how all this works out. I thought he'd have it all done in one weekend. I don't know. He's young. I thought, well, rototill up that area, get your pool in, and get it up and going. No, they ordered it. Okay, well, you know how everything is nowadays, that you order everything online. So that's what they did. You know, one already has his pool, one's getting the pool in. I don't want a swimming pool. I'm fine with my hot tub back here. This has been a real treat for me, especially with my old bones and my neuropathy in my lower legs. To get in this hot tub at night or first thing in the morning, and I do it daily, is good therapy for me. It really is. We had the guy turn it up 1 more degree so that I can enjoy the heat of it rather than it feeling like bath water at 105. It just doesn't do anything for me. Might be up a couple more degrees than that. Husband doesn't really like it. He really doesn't. He doesn't like the bath part of it or soaking or anything, but I enjoy it, and that's why we have it. And for me to put in the little chemicals, all that it requires is just nothing really compared to a swimming pool, and where you have to, I can't even remember what it's called because I haven't had a swimming pool in so long. I don't remember ever having a swimming pool, little baby pools and all that when the kids grew up, but I know from other people that are having it, skimming the water, you know, and cleaning the bottom of it, vacuuming it, and all the bleach and chemicals that you have to use, chlorine, for that. No, I couldn't keep up with that at my age, but I can on my hot tub. I really can. We did get a new hot tub cover after 6 long years, especially the heat where I live. We did get that. And that's another thing, if we ever do get concrete, we are going to put up some other kind of, it'll be similar to a pergola, but I think it'll be the metal ones with the metal roof that'll go the entire length. It'll cover the hot tub and this area. And I think that'll be a lot nicer to come out here and have all that. So it's baby steps, really. It's baby steps when you move into a house of, what do I need first and foremost, you know, above anything. 5 dump trucks of gravel for the driveway was one of them. It's just been an endless thing, but I'm getting there. I really am. By the time I reach maybe 80, not right around the corner, but kind of with me, I can sit out here. I might have a walker. I might have a cane, I don't know. But I can sit out here and say, it's done. We got it all done. It's where I can maybe hire somebody to come and mow the grass or whatever, but it's done. And I can sit here and enjoy it. I am a little sad and disappointed that we haven't taken our big camper camping in the last couple of years. And next weekend is Memorial Weekend. We used to always plan something for Memorial Weekend and go camping. Then as the years rolled by, it was, oh, let's not do that on Memorial Weekend with everybody else and the traffic and the crowds and everything of the camping ventures. So we haven't done that, but I'm hoping by the middle of July, really, I'm hoping by the middle of July that we can take off for a good week and a half, that we go camping, that the yard is self-maintained. It really is, with our watering system, of our irrigation. We have timers on everything, and everything will be fine. You know, I will mow and do the weed trimming and do everything I need to do before we go camping, and I think it'll be okay. And that'll get me out of the heat down here, because it does get hot. I'm still not used to it after 6 long years. I'm still not used to this heat. But what I do enjoy is not shoveling all that deep snow in the winter. I didn't care for doing that anymore. It was too hard on me. So I'm enjoying all the things that you enjoy in warmer weather. I enjoy living down here where I can have all my fruit trees, beautiful grapes that grow that I can pick and eat right then, you know, instead of going to a farm market. That's going to be really nice. So I hope you've enjoyed, like I said, just a few things that I've shown you from the 1st of May, how different it is from April to May to kind of the end part of May now with all of my roses. I'll do one in June, depending on how the weather is. how high the temperatures get, but I want to show you how the heat really does take a hit on these roses, that it bleaches them. It's terrible, it really is, because they're so gorgeous. And then they fade out and bleach because of the high temperatures of the heat. Oh well. But at least every month, every couple of weeks, something is changing in my yard. Something's sprouting up, something's kind of dying and going away, because that's what it does. And these are the nice things about gardening, and you don't have to be a master gardener. You don't. Trial and error. Like I said, I'm still working on that raspberry patch over there. I've got to get it. Yes, little birdie, I know you're up there. You're back again. I want to get those raspberries where they multiply better. And I'll get there, whether it's this year or next year. I want to get there. I even contemplated pulling them, picking them up, digging them up, and putting them someplace else. Maybe even back here where my peach trees are, back in that area. Husband doesn't really like that idea, but you know what? If that saves me from doing all this weed work, I'm all for that. And I don't have a problem with them growing along one of the, probably that brown shed that I showed you. It gets a lot of sun back there and some shade, and they need that. And I could put some really good dirt with manure and everything back there and have them grow nice back there. That's another thought today, contemplating that. And then I could just fill all that up with whatever. A lot of people are buying daffodils, I noticed the other day. Beautiful, they really are pretty flowers. Maybe I'll just fill that all with daffodils, I don't know. But that's my yard today. Those have been my little projects today. And if I sit here and keep talking or drinking my tea, I won't get on to painting those garage doors. So I'm gonna say not. Bye now. This is really Diane, Cooking with Carol Diane. My little afternoon tea time. It's afternoon now. I started off mid-morning, and it's somehow gotten into the afternoon, early afternoon. But I just wanted to say hi to everyone. Hope you're having a nice day today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.